Because my small dick and bare asshole are on the internet for public viewing and have been for quite some time now, people online and in real life have always come up to me and asked me like, hey Kevin, like why don't you make an OnlyFans and like create content on there? Like you're already naked on the internet, like why not grab the extra cash that you can make on OnlyFans? And for people that don't know, OnlyFans is basically like an app or like a site where like people go online and like create content for their OnlyFans, and it's like porn content or like naked nude content and stuff like that. And I'll explain more about like what it is exactly and how like people make money on OnlyFans later on. I do want to take the time today to talk about like why I'm personally not in a place where like I'm down to make content on OnlyFans. I did consider OnlyFans in the past, and also like sometimes like I do think about like, oh, like what if, right? Like people always talk about like how much money they make on OnlyFans, and this past summer, as you may know, YouTube demonetized my channel, and it was around the same time that they like took down 2 of my waxing visual guides in which I did show my bare penis and also like my bare asshole. Not the Nair video, I had to take that down too. But when YouTube demonetized my channel and when they took down 2 of my visual guides, obviously I freaked out and I deleted all of my nude videos on YouTube. I just like removed them off the platform and I put them on my site. So like if you want to see my unblurred visual guides, you have to go on my site and subscribe, and I will link that down below. I do requests now if you like have a personalized tutorial that you want me to do that you personally want, like I'll put that at the link below too. My uncensored content is still up and alive, but when that happened to me, I did have a split second thought, like what if I like got on OnlyFans and like put my content, my normal uncensored hair removal tutorials on OnlyFans? Like would people like that? Would people subscribe to me? And I ended up going with no, and I'll tell you why. So I went to Dallas like 2 or 3 weeks ago and I met 2 OF creators that were super cool, super nice, and we did like a podcast together. We went out to Dallas and like we had a really good time doing interviews on the street. As I said, like they're on OF and they primarily make their money on OF, and I'm assuming they like make a lot because they literally bought a house and they're like literally 22, and when I was hanging out with them I felt so just like ugly and so like behind in life because I'm 26 and like I'm not as attractive as them, and they were literally going around getting hit on every 5 minutes, and I was just standing there like, stop Asian hate, like this is Asian hate, like why aren't you complimenting me? But basically I was asking them about OF and I was like, hey, so like with OF, do you mainly make money from like people subscribing to you and like paying like on a month to month basis, or like how do you make most of your money? And both of them said that most of their money comes from DMs and from requests. So what they do essentially is they have an OF page, and it's like essentially I think most people have it for free or for like a really cheap amount, and the app OnlyFans has like this feature where like your fans on the app can request videos from you. So like for example, like someone will send him like, hey, like I want a video of you like jerking off and I'll pay you like $100 for it, and then they will accept it and then they'll make that video, send it to the fan, and OF will take like 20% or like 30% of that cut. So like if it's $100, like the creator will take like $80 and then OF will take 20, for example. When I heard that this was the main way that they made money, I was like, oh my gosh, like I kind of knew this because I follow Terrace World on TikTok, and she is also on YouTube, and she is a very cool girl. She has explained many times like how she does her OF shoots and how she makes money on OF as well. And I do vaguely remember her saying that like most of the money that she makes actually comes from like sexting the fans and also sending them what they want to see. So for her, it'd probably be something like fingering or like something sexual with her coochie and stuff like that, which is like no disrespect, like you guys do what you guys want to do. But me personally, like if that was my main way of making money, like I will go broke, because first, I'm not passionate about sexting random people or like sending sexual videos. I know you guys think, Kevin, like you're already naked all the time, like what's the difference? I have never gone online and like jerked off or like masturbated or like fingered myself or like put a butt plug in my butt just for the sake of like money, just because I feel like I can't make money from like arousal. Like if I did something arousing to somebody like on camera and I was like, hey, pay me for that, I would not feel good about myself. Like, I mean, no shame to anyone that like does that, but like the closest thing that like happened to me that like is something like this was in 2020 when I was bored in COVID and I was with my friends, like living with them in Boston, and this guy like wanted to pay me via Snapchat if I sent him photos of my feet or like of me like eating a cookie and like rubbing my belly. That was like the closest thing to an OF that I ever did, like the DMing vibe. In terms of like sexting and like sexual arousal, I can't record myself doing that alone for money for like strangers on the internet. Yes, I sext people on Grindr, but they're people that like I am attracted to. And yes, sometimes like on Grindr you have hoes and like you add them on Snapchat and then you end up sexting and sending like photos and videos and stuff. That's a little bit different because you do that in like exchange for the same thing. And that's why like I think it's fine like for me in my head mentally. The main thing is I can't do that because like one, I feel icky, and two, I'm not passionate about it. So like I know that like that style of content will not go long term for me. Like I can only make content that I'm like actually passionate about or like I can be proud of, whether it's like funny or like educational. I've always loved posting educational content on the internet. I've always loved posting, you know, like tips on how to bottom or like tips on how to douche, even visual guides on how to douche or like visual guides on how to remove hairs on your pubes or like your butt. Those videos feel more up my alley because I know that like those are things that I personally struggled with when I was first becoming an adult and like becoming like the gay person that like I am today. It was a long journey to get to where I am today, and it still is a journey. And when I first discovered that I was gay when I was like 20 years old, there were lots of things that I didn't know about the gay world, like douching, putting in a butt plug, fingering, bottoming, removing hairs to be attractive. Like I made so many mistakes doing those things, and when I make an educational video on how to do those things safely and properly and like without pain, or like let's say I do stuff wrong on camera and like I can teach someone a lesson on the internet, that makes me feel good. And that's why I am comfortable with like being naked on the internet if it's for like an educational purpose. I really don't mind, you know, showing my hairy asshole and like how that becomes hairless, or like shaving my pubes, because I'm like, we all need to know how to do these things. Otherwise it's like a little bit like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like it's scary. Yes, there are like directions on the box, but like sometimes you actually need to know how to do those things like safely and comfortably. And like who wants to accidentally like cut their sack or like to burn their asshole from like a cream that like is too strong? You know what I mean? So that's why I feel okay with those types of videos. I want to get into like the technical reason as to why I'm not on OnlyFans. You have to promote it, you know, like you can't just like make an OF and like not promote it. Like you have to put your link somewhere. You have to like post nudes to like get people to go on your app and to subscribe to you in the first place. You have to market yourself as an OnlyFans creator, and that's something that I absolutely cannot do because one, I'm not passionate about that. I barely have like confidence on like my looks. Like I don't feel like a very attractive person. I look fine, but like compared to like OnlyFans models and like OnlyFans people, like I can't compete. But two, also when you market yourself and when you market OnlyFans and you put your link on different social media platforms, they actually take those links down, or they take down your channel, or they take down your video promoting your link. There are so many issues that these people like run into. Like I've heard so many stories about like OF creators going on TikTok and getting banned because they're promoting porn on TikTok and that's not allowed. There was one time when I got like a warning on YouTube, but that warning got like removed because I appealed it. But I had put a link to my bottoming course on my site on my YouTube, literally just like under the description box, and they thought it was a third-party link to porn or like an OnlyFans site or like something porno, and they removed it and they were like, we can't have this link on here. But then I appealed it and I was like, this is literally a course, like it's not like porn or anything like that. And then they restored it. I know damn well like if I made an OnlyFans and I promoted it on TikTok or like on YouTube, those links are getting taken down. And I don't want to just do that typical thing that OF creators do on the internet where they're like, oh, like you know where the link is, like link in my link tree or like link in my IG bio. So if you're promoting it on TikTok, people watching the TikTok have to go on your profile on TikTok and then they have to like click your Instagram and then go on your Instagram and then click the link on your Instagram to go to a link tree, and then they click on the OF. It's just too much for me, and I feel like me personally, I've gotten in trouble so many times on TikTok and on YouTube just because like the nature of my content is either like controversial or it's too explicit. Like if I'm talking about like my schlong or like my butt, even if it's not in a sexual way or even if it's educational, like TikTok will still take stuff down, or they will like demonetize certain videos and I have to appeal it, and it takes hours. It's just like a stressful situation. Like it's stressful being on social media, and it's stressful already doing what I do, even though I'm not a porn star or like I don't send people videos. I don't make money from like sexual arousal. So imagine the stress that I would have if that was my job. It just would not work for me. It just would be too stressful. I know things would be taken down. I'm already in trouble often, so I just like cannot do that. Now this is where like my site comes in, because I do have, as you know, my uncensored content on my site. My site is kevinleonardo.com, literally just like my full name.com. I will link the links to my uncensored visual guides and also like the link to request visual guides, like short personalized ones down below. Those links are not porn. Those links are not for sexual arousal. Those links are literally just like a place. My site, honestly, like I love my site so much. It's a place where I can just like put whatever I want and not feel like things will get taken down or like people will like come here and spam it and like report it, because I know what I'm doing is good. I'm educating people on like topics that are taboo, and I'm also visually guiding people on doing things that might hurt them if they don't have any guidance on the internet. So I'm confident that like what I'm doing is like the right thing. Yes, I have to pay like every month to keep the domain and to also have like a platform where I can put up videos and like put up stuff like that, but at least it's not OnlyFans where they take like 20%, for example, or like there's such a negative perception on OnlyFans, which I don't agree with. But like when people go like, oh, like, you know, you can go on OnlyFans and like not post nudes, you can just go on there and like post shirtless photos. I'm like, well, what's the point then if I just go on OnlyFans to post shirtless photos? Like I do that on IG already. Like I don't think you should be able to charge people for things that they don't want. If you're gonna set out to do something and to sell something, you better commit to it. If you're going on OF and people know, or like people have the perception that like OF is a place where like they will get nudes and they will get like videos of you like sexting them or like talking to them sexually arousingly, you should give them what they want. Like you shouldn't bring people onto OF and then like trick them and then, oh, all you're getting is just like my upper body. Like that's not cool, you know what I mean? And so like I wouldn't just go on OF and just like put up shirtless photos of me, because I already do that on IG. I just feel like that would be like a fishy thing to do, and that's why I rely on like my site to host all of the content that I want to have that other platforms will not allow. Like YouTube or TikTok, obviously I can't put like my nudes on there, but my site, I can do whatever I want. So there's nothing I want more than to put my visual guides back on YouTube and to continue showing everything. But I had to take those videos down because, like I said, I could not risk getting any more strikes on YouTube. They already gave me a warning and a strike for 2 of my waxing guides this past June and July, and I know if they gave me 2 more strikes before that one expires, my channel's gone. So that's why I'm very much against pornography, and I'm very much against anything that would break the rules at this point. Like I want to follow all the rules. I want to stay on all the platforms. I love YouTube so much. I want to be monetized again. And so that's why for the time being, like everything is going to be on my site. So if you guys want to subscribe to my site, feel free. Aside from like brand deals, you know, a big part of my income was from YouTube. And I feel like when I lost that, like I felt like I had to do something to make money, but at the same time, like make people happy. I tried to make like a Discord account. Everyone that like likes me can go in and like we can all talk and like have a community, but soon that page was filled with like pedos and like weirdos that like came in and like sent nudes to people, and it wasn't the educational, fun, positive environment that I had expected of it, and it was like a free place. Now there's a barrier to entry to get into my community and to get into my uncensored site, so hopefully that barrier helps weed out the weirdos, and so it's just like people that genuinely want my content and like me and want more from me. Like I want to be directly accessible to everyone. Yeah, that's why I am not an OF. If you want all of my stuff, my nudity and like everything in the educational context, you can still see everything on my site. I will link it down below. If you guys have any ideas for what to put on there or what to post on YouTube, aside from, I'm gonna do the same things, obviously, still post all the waxing, shaving, everything, bottoming tips, douching, barbering, sex education, all of that will still go on here, but if you have any recommendations, feel free to let me know in the comments. My douche kits and my barbering course and everything, my cameos, all of that will be linked below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's kind of a long video, but I did want to talk about all of this, and for people that care about me to listen to this the whole way through, thank you so much. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.